currently in our application we have the bug which is related to colors of scales on the progress page. And let's see what I mean by that. We're going to try to reproduce this bug. So first of all, let's just start tracking time for the coding activity. And as we can see on the progress page, the scale is growing for the coding activity. So this is working. And now let's go back to timeline page and change this activity on reading in here. So as we can see for the reading activity, the scale is growing as well. And finally, let's do the same thing for training activity. And for training activity, for some reason, we can see that there is no scale actually. And this bug is actually related to Tailwind CSS classes that we are assigning to these scale elements. So it's happening because inside progress item component, when we're assigning class to the scale due, we're actually using dynamic expression to construct this class. So as we can see here, we are interpolating value of the color variable. But in order for Tailwind to properly scan all the classes used in our application, it requires so that we're gonna use all the classes as is, and we cannot use dynamic expressions to build up these classes at runtime. So let's just fix this in the following way. I'm going to create a local function in here. So this will be a function specifically dedicated to deciding which class should be used for the color of the scale based on the percentage value. We're gonna have 4 different colors for the scale based on the percentage. So when the current percentage will be less than 33, we're going to use a red color for the scale. If the percentage will be from 33 to 66, let's use the yellow color. And if percentage will be greater than 66 and less than 100, let's use blue color. And finally, if percentage will be over 100, that means that we have finished a particular activity. And in this case, we're gonna use a green color for the scale. And now, as before, just to make the code inside this function more readable, let's just put all these numbers in corresponding constants. So let's create 3 constants. Actually 2 constants, low percent and medium percent, because 100% constant already exists. So let's switch over back to constants module, and at the very bottom, right next to 100% constant, let's declare 2 new constants, low percent and medium percent, with corresponding values 33 and 66. And of course, just to be able to use all these constants inside progress item component, we have to import every constant. So let's write an import statement for every constant, low percent, medium percent, and 100%. We're importing all these constants from constants module. And then let's just call this function getProgressColor class inside this class attribute to dynamically obtain class for this scale. The color of the scale should be updated dynamically based on the current value of the percentage. And let's make sure that this is working as we expect. So let's start tracking time for the coding activity. And on the progress page, we can see that as scale grows, it changes the color. So now, in order to clean up this progress item component a little bit, let's just move the getProgressColor class into functions module. Before doing that, we're gonna write down an import for this function. And by the way, there is no need to keep this color constant in this file anymore. Let's remove this line and then cut the function getProgressColor class and move it inside functions module. So let's just export this function from here, and then let's move import of all these constants, low percent, medium percent, and 100% into functions module. So here we're already using one import for constants, so let's combine it into one. Let's also apply the formatting for this file, and once again, let's see how it is going to work. So, since the progress value will be recalculated every second, as we are tracking the time for a particular activity, that function getProgressColor class depends on this value, so it will be called again and assign appropriate class to the scale. And now if we're gonna try to track the time for some activity, in this case let's go a different road and actually create new activity sleeping, and then start tracking time for this activity. And as with all other activities on the progress page, we're seeing that the scale is growing for the sleeping activity, so everything is working fine. We can continue in the next lesson.